Greetings everyone, my name is Atterville, and I welcome you all to my semi-blind live let's play of Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 1 Remastered, or MaGMML1 R for short, a full-fledged remake of the original MaGMML1, completely rebuilding it in a new game engine to catch it up with the standards of the following contests. For a brief bit of history, the MaGMML1 Contest came about from a competition on Sprites INC and Talkhaus, which centered on designing good Mega Man levels using the aforementioned modified engine. 20 people submitted levels, and I was one of them, and these would be scored on several categories by 5 judges. These would then be organized into tiers based on their rank and included into the final product shown here. In retrospect, the final product's quality was mixed, primarily in terms of the quality engine, entries, and judging. This remake sets out to rectify most of the engine and non-entry content problems. The weapon rebalancing, hub worlds, tier bosses, secrets, extras, post-game have been all revamped, plus many new options have been implemented. So going through the 26 quote-unquote old levels plus the new ones is going to feel like a new experience. I'm not sure if that level's been modified or not, so it'll be interesting to see. Snazzy new intro. Even the intro screens have much better sprite art. This is going to be a bit different because I'm simultaneously recording this and streaming this. When I post this later onto YouTube, it will be edited a bit so the audio balancing is a bit better. So let's start. Now you can skip the dialogue for one. We have the same musical track as before. "20 primary levels and 4 tier bosses. And I'll get to that, Buster. Well, the weapon testing room has been renewed a bit. So now it's right over here. So let's go through the list of all the special weapons we have access to in the game, and wow, the CPU usage is high. We have the Metal Blade from Mega Man 2, Gemini Laser from Mega Man 3, Solar Blaze from Mega Man 10, Topspin from Mega Man 3, a fixed version, Thunder Wolf from Mega Man 10, although it's modified a bit, Pharaoh Shot, Black Hole Bomb, Magic Card, Rush Coil, and the classical Mega Buster. I'll leave this on just to be sure because I'm a bit worried with the FPS. And up there is the list of judges. I'll keep them on just for posterity, but I'll fast forward through them. After all, for many of them they aren't really accurate. And no, they did not fix any of the entry problems, just outside the entries. I'll be going through the list of levels in order from worst to best, so I'm going to first go through Tier 1. And these are the better levels, so I'll ignore them. And for those not in the know, all these special weapons have been modified a bit. I'm gonna try getting the Skull Amulet and the Charge Buster upgrade as soon as possible, plus the Shot Limit Remover. There's Tier 1 and I Spy an Exit. I need to complete 5 tiers in order to open the exit though. Into Tier 1 we go. Just like before, Tier 1 is the sewers. Time to move on to the worst level of the original MaGMML. In 20th place is Objective Vein Space by No Lynch with a score of 9. And you'll see why it's the worst. That's it. That's the gist of this level. Just sit down and do nothing. Well, I will. I want to see the leaderboards for this. They should all be tied, I believe. I mean, if you do nothing, it should be exactly the same. Now, if you cheat, there should be a way to do it faster. But not by much. Also, the judge comments have been revamped, so now we can see their icons, and it has a better overall form factor. And added to this game for MaGMML2 are the green skip teleporters, in case the levels have too many problems. In 19th place is City War by Quazcake, with a score of 14.4. The rather infamous level, and is Snow and Pyro, Cheese 8, Mr. Kyrem, and Blackmore Darkwing's least favorite level. If you don't like this level, and I'll showcase why you may not like this level, just jump into the teleporter. I don't blame you. For one, we have Invisible Collision. And also, there's Invisible Lack of Collision. Yeah, there's a remastered version, Professor T. I'll try that. The best way to get through this level is to just use the rush jet, but be careful, there's still invisible collision. The music playing in the background, I believe, is the intro music from Thundercats, the cartoon series. The reason why that happened according to Quazcake is because they accidentally had the override underlying collision objects or objects toggled in GameMaker. I had it by accident turned on for a few sections during my own level. And we're done. Yeah, that was City Under Siege, I believe. That was a much better level. And now the judge comments support images. That was taken from MaGMML2 as well. Oops, I fast forwarded through that too quickly. Next up in 18th place is Level by Kana with a score of 18.4. Once I complete Tier 1, I'll go back to Objective Vein Space and try using Gemini Laser on the walls. Enemies spawning in from the middle of nowhere. And this stage basically consisting of random tile sets and random enemies. Yeah, this is far from decent. It just feels like everything is randomly strewn together. I forget her name, but she comes from one of the spin-off Mega Man titles. What was the other worst level that was in MaGMML 2? I know City War was in there, but I forgot about the other one. Honestly, this level just existed. In fact, it's even worse than most levels that just exist in Mega Man Maker. No, it can't. She's just part of the background. Next up is The Quickening by Zaglarok's Odyssey, with a score of 35.2. I think that's what he meant by one of the worst levels, Buster. Oh no, Objective A in Space. Yeah, that was added, not exactly this level, but as a set piece for Tier 1. This is where originally the Black Hole Bomb would be extremely useful, but it's been really nerfed in this game, and I'll demonstrate how it's been nerfed. Originally, these could eat up the force beams, so it's much harder. In MaGMML 1, NPCs didn't exactly exist in the engine itself, as a pre-made assets. Oh yeah. And no music either. And I can't just easily damage boost over there. There was no Death Kit bosses. Technically, there was Napalm Man, sort of, but he wasn't really designed to be worked with this engine. The original version of this engine is essentially a modified version of Blaiga's engine, and that ran at 30 FPS and it had a whole series of accuracy problems, and as well as some general lack of polish, especially in comparison to Mega Man Unlimited, but now it's been fixed with 60 FPS gameplay and all the controller inputs work very well. Of course, I turned off the live system to prevent issues later on the line. In MaGMML 1 we actually had lives, and there was no way to turn it off. Which weapon destroys these? There must be a faster weapon for this. Almost there. I already tried, it's been nerfed in this game. It can't eat them up. But that's not exactly helpful, I need something faster. I think using the rush coil is safer here. The timing's a bit off from Mega Man Maker. I'm not off, it's different. It takes longer for a rush to spawn in. And that's the Quickening 1. So Surprising I did in one go for the first half and died repeatedly in the second half. Players died repeatedly over and over and over in MaGMML1 because of this level, and game over several times. Thanks to respawning lives, it became a lot easier. Yeah, random pelican. This was much harder in MaGMML1 because the engine ran at 30 FPS, and the control inputs were less responsive. It's much harder in Quickman's level, and honestly, the Quickening 2 was much better. But if you know what you're doing, it can be completed quite quickly. See Fabian's scores. On to the Tier 1 boss. That was a pretty short tier because all tiers only have about 4 levels. So let's do it, the new Tier 1 boss. In the original game, it was Joltman from Mega Man Eternal, but this time it's a Lyric. An upgraded Lyric. Lyric with the head of Doc Robot. Okay, I didn't expect that. And with particle effects that are not possible to accomplish on the NES. Him, okay. He's changed to moving on sine waves now. Okay, his head doesn't have a hitbox. Pretty simple overall boss. In fact, I'd say he was easier than Joltman. Yeah. You can defeat him in 7 seconds, but with Buster only is 26 seconds, and 3 seconds if you cheat. So that was this world, but before I leave out of here and check out Objective Vein Space, I'd like to show a funny glitch I discovered while testing. The water catches me while in teleportation. No comment about that. Let's try using the Gemini laser. They do break through the walls, by the way, but why do it? And as we collect more and more energy elements throughout the game, more NPCs will pop up in the hub world. Each with their own jokes. And sometimes Dr. Light has something new to say. I don't have any bolts to purchase any new shop items, unfortunately. These levels are really scarce in terms of bolts, but that'll change very soon due to a particular level in Tier 2. If you played MaGMML1, you know exactly what I'm referring to. Metal Blade has been quite nerfed. Well, maybe not quite nerfed, but at least now it's not broken. This used to lead to something. How does the game compare to Mega Man Maker? Well, this is a remastered or large remix of the original MaGMML1, which came way before Mega Man Maker came out. A better comparison would be MaGMML 2 with Mega Man Maker. I'd say that Mega Man Maker is more creative, but it's an unfair comparison because that game came later. There's Tier 2. That would be much more handy if I was playing with lives off. I wonder what happens if you try buying a life there. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention this, but all the hub worlds have been redesigned so they're easier to navigate and look better. Although the hub worlds in MaGMML1 aren't that difficult to navigate anyways. reusing assets from previous Mega Man games. In 16th place is Chroma Key by Gyro Saloon, with a score of 38.6. We're now going into the below par levels, bad to below par. So let's do this. And in the background is one of my favorite musical tracks in MaGMML1. The gimmick behind the stage is that each section focuses on a different color, and all the enemies and gimmicks follow that same color scheme. Well, they're supposed to be easy to navigate, Buster, but I haven't seen the Tier 3 hub world yet. Here's a section where you can farm up some extra bolts. That's why I was talking about how my money problems would disappear after this level. So I'm gonna stay here and farm up some bolts and then I'll move on forwards. Magic card as well. I'm waiting for a lot of them to spawn in at once and destroying them all at once for extra effects. There is no enemy limit in this game, so tallies will spawn in constantly. Okay, there is a limit. I don't recall there being a limit originally, but maybe that was added. I know about that, but I'd rather use some of the other weapons that aren't currently in Mega Man Maker. I'll get 50 more, then I'll move on forwards. Demonstration of how to use the Pharaoh shot. Just leave the button down here and you can easily farm out all the bolts you want. It's in the description below, so look that up. Anyways, enough farming, time to proceed onwards. And is it just me, or has the magic card been buffed in terms of damage? Oh, this section was the hardest part of the level. mainly because of the fans coming up. And these enemies, they're quite aggressive and they get shielded quite quickly. See, these are the biggest problems. Also the fans. Also, the weapon blocks have been remade to look a lot more obvious, whenever possible, that is. Unless the level uses a different weapon block, or create their own custom ones. But as seen in this level, the reason why I got a negative score or a low score is because of enemy spam. But I wouldn't mark it as being the worst level. It's a unique concept, we're using different sections for each color, but as we've seen in Mega Man Maker, there are much better ways of doing this. Next up in 15th place is Sunset Siege by Scorpio, with a score of 37.8. This was combined with City War to create City Under Siege. Missing background tile there. The musical track playing in the background, I believe, is from Gunstar Heroes. The previous level's musical track comes from, I believe, one of the Super Robot War games. Beyond the something. Yeah, I forgot about this screen transition. You're thinking of City Under Siege from MaGMML 2, Diamond Wolf, not this one. That level in MaGMML 2 was heavily inspired by this one. Because this engine didn't really have fortress bosses. You mean MaGMML 1's Thunderwall in the latest Mega Man Maker update? I kind of wanted it too. You don't have as much area effect per Thunderwall itself, but you get to use 3 Thunderwalls at a time. So it's a lot more useful against weaker enemies, and you can use it as a better area denial weapon. The Cossack platforms move much slower in this engine. If there's one thing I'm thankful for, it's that the guts lifts haven't been added to Mega Man Maker yet. And yeah, this leads to nothing. There's no E-tanks or anything on the right. So this part of the stage is unfinished. The way you're supposed to go is down this hole. One of the first stages in this competition, if you were to go through this from bottom to top tier, where you are forced to use special weapons. So it acts like a nice tutorial for all of your weapons too. Even in Gyro Saloon's level, Chroma Key, you aren't forced to use special weapons. Yeah, that'd be nice. Something else I love over here, which I haven't shown yet, is that this game has a quick slide option. The original MaGMML1 didn't. Well, someone did submit a level with initial D at the end. That was the Wang at the end of Tier 6 of MaGMML 2, but that song was replaced due to copyright fears. This stage felt unfinished, that's what I'll say. And of course there's no way to do it Buster Only or perfectly, so... Next up is Midnight Slow by Blue Kirby in 14th place with a score of 43. Music from Kirby. Oh wait, there's another option to see interesting facts about levels? I didn't realize that option existed. Alright, I'll turn it on after this level. I thought there was nothing there if you turned off the judge comments. Thanks for pointing it out, Needle Mouse. Oh wow, the Thunderbolt can pierce right through the Harry Harry's ball rolling form. By the way, these ice blocks don't have ice physics, even though they look like they should. It feels like an overall improvement over the original. In almost every regard so far. Except the black hole bomb, but everything else feels much better. The injuries themselves are basically the same, but everything else surrounding them is better. Our first E-tank in this game. Compared to MaGMML 2 where you get your first E-tank really fast, it's quite a difference. I want to cover the game 100%, so I wanted to go through the levels from worst to best. I'd rather not go in the opposite direction because then you'll see the game is decreasing in quality. Nice of you to recolor that petite snakey though. Oil Man, okay. I know there are more secrets in the game, so... And according to the description, there's over 30 levels in this game, compared to the 26 in the original, so I know there are at least 4 more new levels. When I eventually publish this video on YouTube, it'll be somewhat edited so the audio balancing is better, and also the parts will be split into different tiers. I will give credit that I like how this level uses some of its aesthetics, but otherwise it's... I don't know, Pyra, I don't really like talking about who's a real fan or not a real fan. It distracts from enjoying the game itself. Alright, that's strange. Must be collision detection, or how the blocks are placed. Really, the main things that are holding up this level are the last turd, as well as the music and aesthetics. Frankly, why waste time discussing, arguing who are real fans when you can just critique the games themselves and make more levels? Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through this level, read the judge comments, then turn them off and see what the interesting facts of the levels are. Nice call forward to MaGMML2 actually. So next up, in 13th place is Sky Ziggurat by Monkey Shrapnel with a score of 46.8. I believe this is the last level of Tier 2. Also, button mashing is a lot easier in this game compared to Mega Man Maker. That's thanks to the Megamix engine. Well, goodbye there, Mega Man 1 Sniper Joe. And now he escaped into the sky. We have Suicidal Joe and Escape Artist Joe. Nice usage of the drop shadows and the top shadows, I guess. I'll take the upper route first. That's what Joe's trying to do. They aren't always successful though. See that, Sniper Joe? He tried escaping, but he's trapped. Pop-up attackers, those bomb boys, or whatever they're called from Mega Man 1, Bomb Man's level. I'm surprised they never showed up again in future Mega Man titles. Bomb bombs, thank you. Even though there's a ceiling up there, it doesn't actually count as collision, where the pathways link up with each other. Unless the stage pathways have very distinct differences, I will not go through the stages 100%. I remember this secret room. Sadly, you can't collect more than one M-Tank at a time. Oops. This pathway links up with the lower pathway to the left anyway, so not much of a loss. I just wanted the E-Tank and bolts. I wish I had a shield weapon in this game. Well, I sort of do in the form of the black hole bomb, but it's not really an instant shield. For situations like that. My level was Napalm Forest and Caves. It's midway through Tier 3. And I'll need to play through that stage twice because it has two distinct pathways. I'll do a shorter version of my own dev commentary back in MaGMML1. Not the best placement for a bomb boy, by the way, the left one. These are fine. And this stage is filled to the brim with E-Tanks. Not filled to the brim, but has a lot of E-Tanks. They'll be useful for the harder, better levels. As a few of the commenters said, this engine originally didn't really have any pre-built bosses, so most stages end with just an asset. I would really disagree with Cheese8's rating here, but most of the judges weren't that experienced or as experienced in MaGMML1, so I forgive them. And the rubric was kind of messy and a bit too generous in certain regards. Before I move on forwards, I want to see what happens if I turn off the judge comments. Alright, so we do have fun facts. I'll have to go back to Tier 1 and this one in reverse to see them. No custom assets, and second level submitted to the contest entirely. Only 2 people perfect ran it. Interesting. Tier 2 boss. I believe they should be the same, but we'll see. Oh, Yoku Man. I thought he was in Tier 3 before, maybe he was moved around a bit. Or I may be misremembering. I know Rock Forest was in the upper tier, so... Time to face off against Yoko Man from MaGMML Unlimited. At least the spikes here aren't instant death. His attack pattern seems a bit more advanced too. Especially this wave attack, this is definitely new. In general, I feel this boss fight is more fun than the original. Well, I didn't want to use any tank here because I want to do it all buster only in one go. The main reason why you can say Unlimited's Yoko Man wasn't as best is because his Yoko spikes were instant death, not to mention one of his juke maneuvers. This one feels a lot more fair because the spikes only deal 4 points of damage to me. Dodging that last attack is going to be a bit of a problem. And originally in MaGMML Unlimited, once it went up to a higher tier or higher elevation of these Yoko blocks, the lower ones despawned, which made it even harder. And it's done, Yoko Man has been defeated. This boss battle is I feel it's more fun compared to MaGMML Unlimited's version. To the left is the way out of here because all the tiers seem to loop around now. But before that, I'm going to see the fun facts of the remaining levels. I wouldn't exactly call Unlimited's Yoko Man horrible, but I say this is more fun than that iteration. So this stage didn't have any long-form scrolling for some reason. I did notice that almost all the screens, or rather all the screens in the stage, were just one screens each. Some of the score got miscalculated there. Darn, I wish they could have implemented the other colors. MaGMML1 came before Mega Man Maker, and it was a contest where multiple people submitted in order to make the best Mega Man level. MaGMML2 came around the same time as Mega Man Maker, in fact a few months in the future. My main issue with MaGMML Unlimited is not really the length of the levels, but more so they need to double the number of checkpoints. Similar to how Mega Man Rock Force did it, because their levels are so longer as well. Objective Vein Space was based off the 131st place level from MaGMML X, which is one of the inspirations for MaGMML in the first place. No, I just go through at least 20 levels that were submitted by various people, level designers, and then go through Fortress levels and various bosses. Delete underlying box, that's what I was referring to earlier when I was in the City War. I keep forgetting Quickening was the last level submitted to the contest. MaGMML 3 isn't out yet, Queen Monica, so I can't really make a comparison. But all I can say is that this and MaGMML 3 share the same engine, so the controls are wonderful. Make a Good MaGMML Level Contest 3, the third iteration in the series. The game I'm currently playing is a remake of the first iteration.